Hello, Boyertown friends. Welcome to a short tutorial about how to use your Apple TV in your classroom. First, I want to point out the things you'll need. You'll need your Apple TV unit and also your Apple TV remote. There are only a few buttons on this remote, but you need it in order to operate your Apple TV. The menu button is also your power button. You can see here there's a play and pause mode, and this is for toggling around in your Apple TV screen when it is projected. For example, if you needed to add a password or search the internet, if you were mirroring a device and you wanted to type it in that way. That's how these buttons would be used, but you really want to focus on the menu button because it is the power button. So now that we have a remote and an Apple TV, there are several cables you need to be aware of. Firstly, there's a power cord that you're going to plug directly into your outlet. Then we have something called a Connects box. That is actually this piece right here. What this is doing is converting the signal from HDMI to something that your projector can read. So if your Apple TV is not permanently installed on your projector through an HDMI hookup, you're going to need this piece. So you've got this plugged in, and then on the other side of that Connects box is where you're going to hook up to your projector. You'll recognize this cord as your projector cord. Once all of your cables are in place, you're going to want to turn your Apple TV on. Again, I'm going to point to this menu button. If your Apple TV is on, you will have this indicator light letting you know that you have power and you're ready to go. Now that you have power, you should see on your screen Apple TV. You will notice there's sometimes music stations across the top. You will have a settings function, computers, iTunes, radio, music, and below there's tons of other content which we can explore later. But for right now, I want you to know once your Apple TV is actually turned on and hooked up correctly, your screen should look very similar to this one. The next step is learning how to AirPlay your device onto the screen. So for this example, I'm actually going to AirPlay my phone, which is why the screen might look different than an iPad or an iPod you have in your classroom. So when I've gotten my device turned on and unlocked, I'm going to swipe up from the bottom of the screen, and then I have these options. I'm going to look for the option that says AirPlay, and then I choose that option. Once I have chosen it, I get a list of Apple TVs that I can choose from. Because my room number is 177, that is the one I'm going to choose, but you would choose the room number that coordinates to you. Once you've chosen your room number, you may have another option down here that says mirroring. You want to make sure that's slid over to on. I could not capture that image on my phone, but that's what you want to see. It'll be green if you've turned it on. When the Apple TV has recognized your device, you're going to have a prompt on your screen that is asking you to enter in a code for your Apple TV. That's going to be unique to whichever device you are using. If you have successfully connected to your Apple TV and you've received the prompting for the code on your device, you will see a code show up on the screen. You would enter this code and choose OK. And now you can see Apple TV is reflecting my home screen on my phone. This is good for many purposes. We have used this in our classroom by just using simply the camera app and walking around and showing student work on the screen by just using the camera app. You could use it in place of an Elmo by using the camera app. There are many things you can do. We have also used the FaceTime app to FaceTime with people who can't come in and speak to kids, and they like that option because they don't have to leave their place of business. There are so many things you can do with Apple TV. This is just a beginner course about how to actually connect your Apple TV and reflect a device.